All right, guys, I'm doing this little jumping in front of everything because I'm actually trying to finish up a drawing. I'm gonna get the starting soon screen up, just because, eh, I want to set some shit up before I start streaming, um, and like I want to actually go over a drawing that I've been working on, and I can actually do it on stream if you guys wanted to see it. But right now I gotta go piss and get some more water to drink. So if you will, give me a moment. Let's start this music.
can support me at patreon.com/Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming. And you can also follow me at Facebook, Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming. Thanks for your support and enjoy the video.
All right, guys. All right. I don't know why. Oh yeah, because the PlayStation screen kind of acted funny. Let's just pull it back on me. And so, it's Sunday. A little bit later, I have some things to do. I figured I'd do some streaming. Before that, I wanted to actually. I was trying to work on this piece of art that I have that you guys seen the dragon that I did. Let me see if I can actually put that in. Can't put that in my image. Oh well. But anyway, you guys seen the dragon that I did, and did the dragon as proof of concept. I really want to do it as a. Really want to do it as a marker drawing. Now, if you've seen some of my marker drawings in hell, you saw with the weight screen. I actually have a white horned dragon, and I want to actually do something a little bit differently, something that I quite literally want to actually do as far as a picture going. And I don't know how to really do it. I don't want to make it. I technically don't want to make it blue, but I'm gonna have to make it some kind of color where it actually just fits as a. I guess like it is an original piece. I did use some other people's art as an inspiration, but technically I'm gonna have an original piece. So I say all that because I quite literally had about 50 minutes ago, Jill, poor sweet butthurt Jill, sent me a comment about my last video, and this is his cry for attention. I've been dealing with a lot of people crying for attention, my attention in particular. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm smart, intelligent, handsome, somewhat funny, intuitive, but I'm an asshole. I admit it. And if Jill wants to have this conversation, we can have a conversation. Let me just actually pull up my Zoom. Because I was going to actually continue the Destiny thing. But I'm going to actually pull up Zoom right quick. And we're going to close PlayStation Network because I want to make sure I have all the shit that I need. Especially since I'm going to be doing more of a chat type while working on art. So bear with me, guys. New meeting. Put my headphones in, and I'm sorry if I can't see the chat right now. All right. Just testing everything. Yes. So I'm actually gonna send him a link. Give me a second. Enter full screen. And let me pull up my email. Email. Let's see. Share link. Not not screen. Not screen. Um, invite through Gmail. Ah, pulled it up. Hmm. Yeah, let's go ahead and send. So we're waiting. We're waiting. All right. Let's see if we can actually do a video. And that's what I need to do. I need to stop using this camera. Go ahead and deactivate it so the other system can actually use it. And there we go. Yay. And while we're waiting on him, let's actually, let me actually adjust some of the Zoom stuff. Exit out of full screen. Why do I have two restream chats open? There we go. So we're just gonna wait for him. And let's try breakout rooms. All right, great. So we wait for this shit to come up. I'm waiting, and while we're waiting, let's actually change video settings. And ooh, yes, virtual background. Let's not. All right, got the green screen up. And while we're waiting for this, give me a second, guys. We're here waiting for Jill. We're waiting for Jill. I am doing more of my art shit. All right. If you guys seen my art streams before, I usually do a light table, and I'm just trying to get a fine point. don't know if you guys can actually see the blue pencil. I think I'm gonna actually do more sketching in blue pencil now on, just from what a lot of people are saying about it, and just how smooth it is. And what I can actually erase, because I'm gonna actually end up doing this in marker instead of graphite. Have you ever seen any of my drawings? I actually did a lot of my. I would basically the way I used to work this, and I'm gonna get to some gaming too, but I wanted to give Jill an opportunity to actually come and talk and actually join the conversation because he said he was gonna school me. If you think that I'm joking about it, well, take a look at this, guys. Where is my channel? Great. Oh, wrong one. Wrong video. Previous uploads. I'm gonna give him a few minutes. So wait for it. Now, mind you, this was at noon. It is noon now. So I'm gonna actually keep this up until he figures out that he needs to come up. He's gonna teach me a lesson. Ooh, I'm scared. With those lessons comes with whoops and belts. He's gonna spit. You can't bend the rod. Oh God. He's gonna bring the rod. Yay. At least I don't have to worry about this smearing. And if he doesn't come by 12:30, I'm just gonna go into the gaming content that I wanted to go into. Is Jill, are you in? Hold on. Nope, still not in. I should look at the screen. And plus, this will give me time to actually finish this one. Thinking about it. Still waiting for it to come in. Oh shit. Still waiting. 6 minutes to give me enough time to actually do what I need to do in this. And again, because it doesn't smear, it actually allows for me to actually have more freedom of movement with my hands. And because I've already traced out the dragon, I'm pretty good on it. Well, I've already drawn the dragon. I'm pretty good on knowing what to draw. I wonder if you guys can actually see the lines that I'm doing. Ah, fuck that. I almost want to make it green. I like truly do. Kind of like an aquatic dragon. Alright. I still got 3 minutes. Three minutes to get that rod. Pause. Oh wow, you guys can barely even see it. Alright. Alright, got the outline of it that I really need, and go ahead and let's fucking have some fun. So he got less than a minute. after that, I'm not stopping the stream. I'm gonna keep the shit going. Speaking of keep the shit going. Oh, that motherfucking eraser works wonderfully. Oh shit. Ah. All right, so, and I know you can't probably see it, so let's reset up. So I am ending this meeting. All right, so great. All right, so let's get into the fucking Grange. Alright guys, I'm sorry it's taking so long. I have to reset up everything again. Up, there we go. Put that right there. At least I finished the part of the art that I wanted to finish. And let's go ahead and activate that again. Booyah. Boom shakalaka. Have my headphones off. Alright. So let's go right here.
You can support me at patreon.com
Shut up,
/Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming. And you can also follow me at
Turn off the
Facebook,
whole thing.
Crimson60620 PS4 Gaming. Thanks for your support.
Alright, good. Let's bring this back up because I have to almost have a distraction while I listen to this shit. And it's in the gaming category. So put that up. Window capture. Properties. Alright. There we go. Alright, so if you didn't see my video yesterday, it was pretty much a shot. It's got a scatter shot of a lot of different things that I was doing. Of me gaming. What else? Just me gaming and doing different shit. So I was talking about the video that we're gonna pull up today. And let's pull up video. And we're gonna actually finish watching the conversation. Let me make sure I have this at 2 hours. It's taking a lot to get through. Okay, so I get the whole conversation right here. It's really that, if you live in a racist society, it by definition can't be a communist society. Because communism means share everything. And I forgot what I needed to do. But it's by definition an anarcho society. Now, here's the thing. We had that shit, and that's why we had fucking warlords. But and quite frankly, that situation can only be guaranteed where people have elevated their way of thinking, and that is a hard fucking thing to do. That is definitely a hard thing to do. Divine. Let's actually do that. But yeah, let's go ahead. Okay, so starting our own factory, in a sense, yeah, that's a fucking. It is a capitalistic solution, but it's also a solution where let's be fucking honest. If you don't have the means to purchase your own stuff for a factory, then it's nonsensical to actually suggest that shit. It really is. It's nowhere near. Oh, if I just do this, I can trace those. Okay, cool. It's nonsensical to actually suggest that, hey, you know how you've been oppressed. Well, you just start your own business. That's the bullshit that we hear now that hasn't worked for anybody. But let's fucking continue. So, and this is where I think it's a lot of the. This is why, and no, this is one of my biggest pet peeves. This is why capitalism is so pervasive. This is what people that want to go to anarcho syndicate actually never understand. No, it's not that people quote unquote want to be rich someday. That's not the case. They just don't want you taking their shit. Don't want to lose what they already have, because they feel if you go for the rich and powerful, pretty soon you're going to be coming for them. Even if they never dreamed to be rich and powerful. Well, if they took the big strong people with all the money and they can actually protect themselves, pretty soon they're going to be coming after me. And this is echoed throughout the whole tone of these conversations. This is echoed throughout the whole tone of this conversation in particular. So let's continue. So, and then one other thing, what I see a lot of people actually kind of try to homogenize violence, political violence, without actually causing physical violence is still violence. Protests are a form of non-physical violence. It's damages means for people to make a profit, or it damages means for people to actually make money. That's still a form of violence. It's just non kill people violence. And that's the thing. That's where I feel that a lot of the questions come when they say, well, violent revolution. Every time you go on a strike, that's political violence. Now, no one may be getting hurt, but that's still political violence. It's political non-violence, but it is causing some sort of pain, be it figuratively to somebody else, to get them to actually, capitulate to your demands. So let's continue. So remember, and then this is a callback to yesterday's video. Yesterday's video, Destiny said, like, I'm gonna use everything that you use if it's so vague of an argument. I'm gonna use it against it to make my points as well. Tables are fucking turned, and yeah, this is why it's not an issue of which monetary system that you would actually use versus which moral system that you would actually use. And with anarcho syndicate communists actually kind of like they lose the argument when they want to actually say it's equating to money. No, it's equating to the power, the outsized power that somebody has. Money is just that tool that people use to oppress others. But make no mistake, it is the expression of that power. So, and this is what I don't actually get about what Destiny is arguing, and I don't see why, EJ isn't getting this point either. You're quite literally saying that these are, outside of the capitalist system where these changes are being forced to be partake, and it's almost as if like they're skipping past this. Both of them, they're skipping past this to say, well, let's attack the way that the money is actually being used and how the system is actually distributing wealth. You're missing the fucking point. Like, both of them are. And maybe it's just me being pedantic to actually say that, well, this is where the problem is. It's like they're missing a point and they're getting bogged down into how to distribute the wealth. Person versus in a system where, again, it's a power structure. Capitalism is the way that power structure is actually denoted versus say that we need to address it this particular way with this particular power structure, because make no mistake, a democratic, more even power structure is still a power structure. But let's continue. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yes, okay, so if that would have been if that escape wasn't there, of saying that it's messy in practice, then we would have had this would have it would have been a little bit different. But just because you pay lip service to the fact that both of the situations are messy in practice, you then obfuscate to say that, but capitalism works because it works for me, versus how it may not work for some. Or, I don't know. It's just like you pay lip service to that acknowledgement, but you don't do it within the rest of the debate. But let's continue. No, see, there it goes. Okay, so this is where you see, like, oh god, I left the screen door open last night. I woke up covered in mosquito bites. But this is where I actually want to actually address a few things. So this whole no government thing, it's great for a city. It's great for a town, a hamlet, a village. But when it comes to a larger collection of people, a no government thing, in and of itself, it just doesn't work. We actually have, there is a critical mass of people where it would be quite literally impossible not to have a structure of government. It would be. Like, it's no way of getting around that. It would be impossible. Where anarchy would rule and not the good kind. But, and to be fair, I've watched a little bit more of this part of the debate, and EJ American Johnson tries to do this, but he doesn't stick the landing per se. Where it's, if you think that it would be bad in the economical system, then nail him on it. But he doesn't do it, and it is, he was thrown off his square. That's the only thing that I can actually say. But let's continue. Okay, so no, no, this is actually ignoring a lot of things that are in practice, in name, are different. Yes, just like we used to have separate but equal, where it really wasn't equal. I actually just, it was a story in California, in one of the most liberal states in the country, where they set up a separate but equal schooling system for a specific community of kids versus minority kids. And what they did was, piece by piece, they took funding from this school that was had a heavily enrolled amount of African American and Latino kids, and they diverted the resources to a predominantly white school. And what happened was, in a year's time, the minority their test scores tanked, and it was more justification to say, well, let's cut more money. They're not doing anything with the money anyway. Let's cut more money. Let's cut more resources. And quite literally, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. And we still have that shit now. We still do. It's still a prevalent reality that we have. The thing about charter schools, well, urban schools aren't doing well enough to actually have funding. Let's take funding from these urban schools and put it to vouchers. And they wonder why test scores are shit. You still have places where you would have racist secretaries of state say, well, these people shouldn't vote because they have the same last name, when they did a study to figure out, well, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, they all have a commonly of having the same last name, or the same multiple names that sound the same. But yet, and still, so we're going to make a law to say we can remove these particular people off the voting rolls, and it disproportionately affects minorities because their names tend to be similar or the same. How many people that I'm just going to use, like Jonathan Smith, like John Smith. How many times do you actually see that shit in multiples in a specific community? They did the study and they wrote the laws to actually take that shit out, to make sure they can, disenfranchise different voters. If you're a felon, you can't vote. And let's target all of these African Americans with laws that would actually make it a felony, where they get convicted, and oh, you're a felon, you can't vote. There literally used to be a laws that used to only target minorities, saying that if you were a minority without a job, we can put you in jail. We still have those laws. Slavery didn't end 200 years ago. Barely ended now. We still have those issues where, well, he was running from the cops. He must have did something to get shot down. Come on, man. You're smarter than that. Again, on paper, technically, no, black people are human and they have rights on paper. But when it comes to practice, we see too many instances of where we see African Americans gunned down in the street simply because and they look dangerous. Tamir Rice was fucking shot before the cops actually got out the car because reasons. Well, let's go. No. Oh God, no. Oh fuck, no. They're just hiding it better. God damn. Like, this is the argument that I hate. It's, oh no, it's improved itself. No, it just hides the shit better. And that's my problem with a lot of this shit. Well, no, capitalism is... No, it doesn't look good to overtly say that we have people enslaved. It doesn't. But in for-profit prisons, people are working fucking slave labor. Now, this is one thing that I can fucking, like, admit to the figurative language that, you know, G-Man does. It's for-profit prisons, and the shit happens. But I think he really thinks that they have their name taken away and they're slaves and shit like that. But sorry to bring up that idiot, but let's continue. No. Dog, no. Like, for real. If you look at the substance of what Jim Crow was, our laws dictate to mandate an oppression of African Americans. Those laws may not still be on the books, but the practice are there. It's like what I see with a lot of things. People would have a reason for doing stuff, and they'll teach the people beneath them, hey, do it like this, without the reason behind it, so people attribute more noble or just take away some of the hateful shit that you would actually see for the reasons why these laws or customs or practice are in place. And people say, well, it doesn't have any meaning behind it. We just always done it this way because that's just the way it is. So, and here's the thing, and this is one of the things that, like, and I'm gonna go to another point about this, so trust me. Yes, the shocks don't kill capitalism, it makes it stronger, it makes it change, it makes it evolve to the point where if see this is maybe I'm just a super pragmatic person. We don't have a purely capitalist system. We don't. We actually have things that are social and improving the social order of things. And this is, it just takes some more devocation to say, I want that one. I want that car. It just irritates me to actually have to constantly make the point for both people about the fact that we really don't have a pure capitalist system. We don't. A pure capitalist system would say, fuck what you thought. We want to make profit at all costs. We don't have a pure capitalist system. We don't. Now, we have a gradation, a scale, this on this part, this on that part, and there will always be people that want to pull it closer to their side, to their capital owning self. But this is the problem. If you don't do shit in order to make sure that they don't pull it that way, then you're just as guilty as the people that you're just as guilty as the people who are steady pulling that Overton window to the right. Shit, try to pull it to the left. But let's continue. They have the money. We have the fucking people. You're trying to win by default by cutting their legs out from under them. Instead of really, like, he swept the leg. Like, you're really looking to sweep the leg. Instead of just fucking fighting this. Fight the shit. And keep fighting the shit. They want to roll back the protections. Then you keep fucking pushing for more. Let that struggle be your motherfucking life. It will never be an end to the struggle. Just like you will never find a perfect system of communism. You will never find a perfect system of governance or power structures like you want it. But keep up with the fucking fight. And this is what kind of pisses me off about these ideologues, where they say, well, no, as soon as you get rid of that, then people will change and it'll be all magical and fruity pebbles and magically delicious like Lucky Charms. That's the phrase that I wanted to go with. Dude, no. Fuck no. Fuck no. It's always going to be a fight. It's always going to require you to put effort to it. That's how fucking life works. I am not saying that you can't get to a state where it's more equal distribution of fucking power. I am not saying that. What I am saying is it will constantly be a motherfucking struggle. Okay. It will constantly be a motherfucking struggle, and get used to the struggle. Because we've been fighting this struggle ever since people have been people. And that's been longer than 6,000 years. But let's continue. Ooh, low blow. Alright, so this is where it gets kind of contentious. This is where it gets contentious. And it's contentious for a couple of different reasons. One, if you've actually watched some of American's videos, he's actually said he's lived in several different countries where a quote-unquote communist, which is really socialist system, has been in place. And this is discounting his experiences. And when you discount somebody's experiences, it seems to piss them off royally. And this is where it gets really contentious, and this is the reason why, this conversation blew up the way it did. So let's continue. So this is a little bit of conflation where this is where it kind of gets really bad, and it's just like America sits in a place where it's actually pretty unique among other countries. They have we are a country of rebels. To be honest with you, we are a fucking country of rebels. So there is not a lot of legal ways of actually punishing speech in the way that there is for other countries. There isn't. Like, we can say outside a direct, concrete threat, you can pretty much threaten a lot of fucking people. Look at Ocasio Cortez. She gets a shit ton of death threats every day. So much so that they only give her the serious ones where they think that the people are actually gonna do some shit. Quite literally, and to actually force that one, to actually come at it as, oh no, because they said one thing, then their system of beliefs isn't exactly like ours. Then yes, they're a shitty country because of their economic, the way they handle economic policies. It's a little disingenuous, and yeah, it's disingenuous as shit. And I don't get why. I'm gonna be generous and say, and I know this isn't really being generous, but I'm gonna be generous to say that it is really for the shock value that this is being said versus the actual belief in the way this conversation turned out. So let's continue. So this is where you actually take Destiny to task for saying that the Humans Right Watch also says the same thing about American prisons. Like, you've ceded so much ground to this whole idea of, yeah, maybe this, yeah, maybe that. Fucking don't cede that ground. Like, for real, have that real conversation about the fact that there have been some shit that America has done to fuck things up for people as well. Like, don't cede that ground. Have that real conversation. And this is a fucking priestess battle. God damn it. So it really comes down to luck. But let's continue. So this is like okay. So and this is where I just like I feel like it's being a little bit disingenuous because one, not everybody is the USA with political dissidents. That's what our country is founded on. We actually use different ways of trying to keep people in line, like social pressure, which is prevalent in a lot of other countries, but not as prevalent as is here because of those puritanical values that we, for some reason, are still stuck with, even though everybody acknowledges that they're bullshit. But let's continue. Okay, so this is a dick move. That's a dick move. That is a dick move, and he knows it's a dick move. That's why he laughed afterwards. That was a dick move. That was like quite literally a dick move, because that's just no. That's a dick move, dog. You know that was a dick move. Well, just because. Let's use it for other example. Just because you weren't bulletproof, I in the back of your head, just because I shot you, well, you should have been stronger. You should have had Superman skin, like, or you weren't strong enough for me to not force myself on you. Like, that's a dick move. You know that's a dick move. And quite literally, some countries have been so ravaged by war. Oh my God! Like, the reason why America was a superpower from the 50s and 60s because they had bombed the rest of the world, or the rest of the world were recovering from World War II, and the United States pretty much stayed unscathed from what happened with World War. And you see that with South American countries. They actually were trading partners with a lot of countries in Europe, and then when it relied on the United States basically fucked everybody over in order to flex its not just economic power, but military might too. That's why you seen the CIA so entangled in a lot of fucking foreign engagements. They weren't doing that for their motherfucking health. No, they were doing that to be assholes, and they were being assholes. But let's continue. Okay, so and that's where, God, that's this whole thing about, yeah, except in the United States. God damn, that's exactly the whole thing. That's one of the benefits of the United States, not because of capitalism, because it's just a country of fucking rebels, quite literally. It was born on the back of people saying, I don't want somebody to tell me what to do. And then once they won their war for independence, I'm gonna tell you what to do. You know, but again, that's not a solely capitalist thing. That's a I'm on power and top thing. But let's continue. Whoa, whoa. Jimmy Dore called back and says, don't make that argument, dog. Jimmy Dore called and said, you would think so, but people bow down to power because they're fucking weak. And people, I mean Republicans. But let's continue. What the hell is his motherfucking power? But yes, that. But that's the thing. Yes, the American has done that. God damn, you even had you had precious Barack Obama assassinate a U.S. citizen that was quite literally extrajudicial killing of a U.S. citizen because he went to a different country and he started to speak out against America, where he should be afforded a fucking trial. But no, because it was okay, he was on a terrorist watch list. Let's kill him without a trial. That is something that it just happened like a few years ago. And not only that, when they said, okay, he's dead, anybody else? They targeted his son, who quite literally also was a U.S. citizen, and did not make any same political moves. They just wanted to cut out the proposed threat of somebody. But let's continue. Okay, so this isn't something I've heard, and I'm not even gonna like. I don't even know, but this sounds like somebody got a little bit too native. But let's hear this conversation. So yeah, here's the thing. You like. So here's the thing. Great. Then fucking like move from the conversation. You're letting the conversation be led by emotion of I need to defend this system. Like no, it's a fucked up system and this isn't perfect. So let's move on. Or turn it back and say, well, capitalism isn't a perfect system either, because if it was a perfect system, you wouldn't need the government to actually step in and force companies to do a certain thing a certain way. Like, god damn, man. Like, practice these debates, practice these conversations. Like, fucking practice. Practice. Damn. But let's continue. So, yes, okay. Bring this back to the conversation about the way that the power structure are actually determined. Let's have that conversation. But don't. Oh God, it's like you're getting lost in the. You're getting lost because you can't see the fucking forest because you're looking at the trees. Yes, there are some big motherfucking trees in this forest. But if you're arguing for a system where it is if you more even distribution of power versus a system where it's top down rule, you're gonna lose if you deviate away from the whole, hey, maybe people should have more powers and they shouldn't be concentrated in the hands of so few. Okay, so yeah, here's the thing, and this is fucking ironic because for one, we have somebody who is living in the system, and you can say, "Oh, they just live in the systems; they stick it up for the system that they're living in." But you have fucking what do they call them? Expats, and I forgot what it is. Expatriates from a specific system. Fucking American is an expat. He used to live in the U.S. It's like, I don't like the system. Let me go to a different system. So there are It's almost as if you don't see neither group party see that. And for Destiny to bring this up, and for America not to make this point, hey, people that are expats for a reason, because they just hate the fucking system. And so for you to say, well, you're just saying that because you live in Vietnam now, well, they're just saying what they're saying because they live in a different country. Easy to just cite that, but let's continue. So I want to actually address a point that that was said. So yeah, let's be honest. When you bomb a country into the Stone Age and you say, and the one ally that was helping them, the one ally that was actually making sure that they can have subsistence. When the Soviet Union collapsed, yeah, that fucked a lot of different things. And it's disingenuous, to say the least, that, like, that comment about, well, if your system of government wasn't so weak, then you wouldn't have had to let capitalists, like, come in and screw you over. That's disingenuous, to say the least. Like, it really is. And this is the part where I was like, yeah, he's being a shit poster right here. He's being that asshole to say, like, well, my system is best because we kicked your ass, never actually acknowledging some of the very foul shit that was done. Like, who is it, Truman, that says, if you don't fucking do what we want you to do, I'm gonna start dropping motherfucking bombs to make sure that this country looks like the face of the moon. Like, that was a fucked up situation, and for Destiny not to acknowledge the historical contents of a lot of shit that happened is, and I think he does know it. He says, "Well, my history isn't too good." No, dude, you know it is. But by this time, they had pissed you off enough to devalue what you believe was right, and you start getting into it with him about everything. And this is why you see that video on NonCompete's channel about Luna being so pissed off after the debate, because it's just like, well, you guys were too weak to do anything, so we had to. You have to play by our rules, and she's right. It was an issue where, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the game while I'm trying to talk to you guys, but she's right. It was an issue where it's like, yeah, we screwed you. We brought you to your knees, and now that we have you on your knees, play by our games the way we want you to play by our games. It was fucked up. But let's continue. Okay, so the thing about what they're bringing up with Venezuela, it's just disingenuous as shit, because it wasn't that what was nationalized were the oil wells, and the thing about it is, if you manipulate the one thing that a country has in spades to actually make money off of, where you cause that to tank, of fucking course, you're gonna get an issue where that country takes an economic hit. That's what late stage capitalism does. It is, okay, we control the levers of power. Let's fuck with you this way, and that's exactly what happened with a lot of these countries. It's not because it's an inherent better system. It's because they have an in with the way that things work. And especially when that in is fucking trade. Oh, if you can control the trade of shit, then you fucking have so much power, because that can totally destroy a country's infrastructure or their funding structure. But let's continue. All right, uh, so let's do a crimson fact check. It is true that obesity is a problem in the United States, but that's not because people have a glutton of great, cheap, healthy food that makes it where people can actually eat their fill in apples and oranges and fruits and vegetables. That's that's bullshit. He knows it's bullshit, but that's that goes to that blaming of, well, if you're fat and unhealthy, it's your fault. But let's continue. So this is actually true, and it has been studied, and it has been determined that because of food deserts, a lot of people are getting cheap, unhealthy, high caloric food, and it is a problem. That's why we coined the term food deserts instead of people just starving. No, they are starving for highly nutritious meals the way that people would need. That's why it was. Oh shit! Did I just get 500 glory? Oh shit! I got five. Oh shit! I got 500 fucking glory points. But I'm sorry. Like, I've never seen 500 glory points actually hit my screen like that. Oh wow! Level that shit up. Ah, the skill bonus. Let's actually, yeah, I want to watch it again. Increases the chance for Keen to provide you with tribute of various valuable resources. Increasing your gem mastery with Kingdom's primary color, which increases your chance for a mana surge. Providing all of your troops with a permanent skill point increase. Leveling isn't the only way. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm going to get to the point in a second. What level is this one? I guess that is epic. Alright, so let's continue. Sword's Edge. Just know that Sword's Edge. Okay, so yeah, wow, damn it, made a good point before I actually had to do it. But let's continue. All right, so yeah, here's the fucked up thing about it is Germany is a socialist country. Workers have more power, and if you actually want to, like American, that can actually point to those countries, those particular, like that's an example of that's an example of how yes, there can be rich people in the society, but the workers can have fucking control. We want to just keep taking steps towards that direction. Have that in your back pocket. Oh my god, like, and this is what I don't get about people who claim to want a capitalist free society. You can actually point to where yes, dude, you can say they're not socialists, they're capitalists. But fuck, like that's the shit that kind of pisses me off because it's an all or nothing type bullshit. This all or nothing type bullshit is, you know, ideological purity test of we don't have a system in place where we'll never have that system in place. Fuck, it seems like you're always a dog chasing his tail, and you don't know what to do when you actually get a system that like, well, it's not the perfect system, so let's just throw it away. No, fucking go for these systems. Go for this shit. Like, yeah, let's go for Germany. Let's go for those countries in France where it's you have this externality outside of what you know outside of what companies may actually push because the workers have more power. And I'm actually a big fan of this shit. I'm actually a big fan of, let's say, having the world workers have more power. It's not a pure communist system, but it goddamn keeps. Look at what happened with Macron and where they were actually going to raise the gas tax. He went to the G20 summit, and fucking Paris was on fire on his way back, and he had to come back in and just like, no, I'm sorry, we're not gonna do the tax because the government was scared of the motherfucking people. Have that shit. Have that playing around in your head. Let's have that conversation. But let's continue. Again, this is where we get the shit post part of it. This is where we get the shit post part of it. Dude, it is. This is nothing but shit post right here. And yeah, let's go. So, and I actually kind of got into this whole conversation before with a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, and it didn't get contentious because, well, we were sleeping together. So it was, if you give people free homes, what's the point in, why would people work hard? People, quote unquote, work for what they get now, and they still try not to work as hard as managers or leaders fucking want them to, because fucking humans. There will always be people who would try to get the most out of the least amount of work. We are fucking humans. That's how we evolved. And for you to say, disingenuously, mind you, oh, well, people are not going to work hard for things because reasons. That's really disingenuous. But let's continue. Okay, so there goes those libertarians, that libertarian argument of taxation is theft. Like, quite literally, that's the libertarian argument. They earned those 6 homes. That's theirs. You're stealing from them. Like, no, it's not stealing. It's not stealing. You can make the argument that by hoarding so much wealth, they're stealing from the bottom. They're stealing from the bottom to enrich themselves unjustly. And that feeds into your argument. That quite literally feeds into the argument of why capitalism is a bad system. Because there are work that is exploited by upper class to disenfranchise lower classes, and that is also can be quote unquote stealing. But you don't make that argument, you fall into the, well, that's theft. Well, let's continue. That sounds like because reasons. That's just the way it is. But let's continue. He knows he's being a shit poster right there. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, this is actually true. We discussed this with Robert Breckman, the author. Well, not author. He was one of the proponents of bullshit jobs. Quite literally, yes, we don't have to work 8 hours a day, 10, 12 hours a day, 11 hours a day. It is a fairly wide known point that scarcity is in large part made up to actually justify a system. Now, what happened was worker productivity has gone through the roof, and that's been siphoned off by profits. If we even it like in other countries, they use their wealth to actually facilitate time off. That's what a lot of other countries use their wealth for. So employees can actually use that money that they would pay in, you know, productivity to take time off. And it's really unquestioned right now, and it would be disingenuous to actually say, well, no, that's not the case. What do you mean? The fact is, we actually live in a country and a philosophy where it's always good for everyone to have a job, and that's why you see a lot of these problems. But let's continue. Not worthless. That's a key switch in the conversation. Not worthless. Bullshit jobs. That's not saying that you don't get any value from them. No, quite the opposite. You do get value from them, but the value that you intrinsically get from them doesn't add anything to society. It's mostly there to keep you busy. But let's continue. So yes, this is actually so fucking true. Where if you've ever worked retail, like I used to work retail for GNC, we actually used to throw away product and would be insured for the product that we throw away because of expiration dates. And whether you fall into the thing where some expiration dates are quite literally bullshit, which they are, it still doesn't face the fact that, you know, there is a distribution problem that arises from having so much food, but there's also inherently a issue where farmers are literally paid money because if they have too much crops to flood the market, that's a form of price control. Farmers are incentivized to grow corn or soybeans because it's put in everything as a filler agent or as a way of, you know, the non-fructose corn syrup, shit like that. But let's continue. So that's in this libertarian language of, well, taxation is stuff. If the government comes over and takes the thing that you've created, it's stuff. And it's from an argument of, I have something to lose. I wouldn't want somebody taking something from me. That's where this argument really comes from. And it's you're debating this with somebody who has intellectual property, and this is where I see a lot of the fucking arguments that Destiny doesn't like the whole social. Yeah, give wealth to somebody, to the poor. Yeah, as long as it's not too much. But let's start having a problem with intellectual property. Oh, it's a mother. You're touching his shit. You're touching his shit. So no, I will fight you tooth and nail. And this is why I say, and you can disagree with me. There will never be a fucking revolution, and I tell you why. It will never be a fucking revolution because, again, people, if they feel that you're coming, as long as you're coming after somebody else's shit, they can join in on the looting. That's fucking fine. But the moment you seem to be touching they shit, hold on there, Kibo Sabi. What the fuck are you doing? And that's the problem. That right there is the fucking problem. You get people that are threatened because you may be touching their shit. They don't want you touching their shit. But let's continue. And since we're talking about, I'm going to take a little break right here. Since we're talking about capitalism and merchandising, and I'm a fucking artist that sells shit, I should have took this break early enough to say this. If you want to actually look at some of my merchandise, you can actually go to streamlabs.com/Crimson60620 merch. And follow the link in the chat right now and it will take you there. Back as a break from that commercial, because I really am putting a lot of art out there, we're going to go back to the video. Thank you. Okay, so no, this is quite literally demonstrable evil. If you don't make money off of it, then people wouldn't buy it. If you can't make money off of it, people wouldn't make it. That's evident to be a falsehood because basically I actually sell art, and I still sell art. Even though I can't make money off of it, but it's not as much as money as I want to make off of it, I still take the time to make art. So if you actually want to actually see some of my prints, instead of just getting my merch t-shirts, you can actually go to fc.com/shop/Lone Sage Art. Oh God, have I done enough shilling? But let's continue. Well, what if you live in a, city like Flint? I think you want to buy bottled water. Or that it's a town in Massachusetts. But a lot of these companies are actually purchasing rights to different water. Like, Nestle is a problem. Yeah, fuck, Nestle is a big fucking problem. But let's continue. Okay, no, that is a capitalist thing. That is squarely a capitalist thing. That's, we want to control how we want to control how profits are made. So let's kneecap the competition. That is totally a capitalist thing. It is not a. It's a crony capitalist thing, but it is definitely a capitalist thing. Oh my God, that is definitely a capitalist thing, and we see it all the fucking time. But let's continue. Ding, 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 ding. That's just the way it is. Things will never change. But it actually isn't kind of a category error. It's coming close to a category error, but it's not a category error because what ends up happening is you see this shit and it's just alarming because for big things, well, but when it comes to small shit, which is in a scale in kind, then it's a different story. But let's continue. So these are all actual facts that a lot of people don't. They don't want to give credence to, especially people that have businesses or have wealth. It's well, I got a small loan from my father of $1 million. What the fuck now? You really are saying that you got a small $1 million loan and Donald Trump didn't get just a small $1 million loan. He quite literally, Daddy rescued him so many different times. But I was a self-made billionaire. No, you didn't. No, you weren't. Your father gave you a salary at 3 to try to get away from paying taxes. Well, he's just being a smart businessman. It's also illegal to try to launder money through other people just not to pay taxes. And that's kind of arguing against that whole theft idea about how come you just can't come in and how come somebody can come in and just steal somebody's business who they purchase shit for. Now I get what American is actually trying to say. He's trying to say that people don't have enough starting capital in order to start their own business. That's why you see so many multinational conglomerates actually buying up competitors because they want to limit the amount of competition and the capital needed to start your own business has become so overwhelming that a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't just say, fuck working. I'm going to start my own company and make shit. And for someone like Destiny he does work hard. He streams a lot for many days. And I can only marvel at the fact of how much that he can actually sit back and stream and have these conversations with people and actually make so much income off of Twitch. But he has to remember, he climbed the ranks from being a fucking gamer where, dude, you had skill, but it's also fortune as far as luck. It's also, you didn't build the shit yourself. As a matter of fact, if we want to be really pedantic about things, how come you didn't come up with your own internet, your own platform, your own Twitch, your own YouTube, and then make your money? No, it's about being lucky. How many people, it may sound somewhat obvious, how many people that also streams as much as you do and aren't making a killing on YouTube or Facebook like you are, or YouTube or Twitch like you are? I'm not saying this to be somebody that sounds jealous, but and I don't want to actually say it as somebody who is kind of like, well, I need to take his place at the top, but just recognize that luck plays a big part in it. But for you to say, well, I made it this far and it's mine because only I had the tenacity to be this way, only a select few people have the tenacity to do this, that's just bullshit. And that's not even saying that there aren't people who are not as hardworking, that are it are manipulative, or are, and I'm not saying that he is, but are quote unquote sharks. There are still people that are sharks in mindset that still can't make it like you can, be it in the gaming or streaming content world. But it's still kind of, it's disingenuous. It's just disingenuous about the whole thing, about what's going on and what happens to the conversation. Because yes, you know, I said it before about, you know, the conversations between American and Luna. It's like when you try to touch somebody's identity of what they feel they built up around themselves, as far as what their success is, you you see this defensive posture, and that's where this is coming from. But let's continue. So, and this is, I think this is a point where American was expecting more of a fight on, but it was a pivot. It was a pivot away from it, like quite literally. And if you want to actually say that, you know, we need to have more systems in place, like the one that Bernie Sanders is actually advocating. Let's use the post office as a way of facilitating small business loans. Yeah, let's do that shit. Let's actually, but you're not making that point. You're making that point like the system we have is completely bad, or is bad because we don't control the shit like we want to, and let's throw it all out. Because if you don't throw it all out, then you're an oppressor, like the people who are in power. Like, don't do that. Don't actually see the test of purity for the shit. If you have a problem with the government that right now that money controls so much, has so much outsized power, fucking advocate for taking money out of politics. Let's make publicly funded elections where the company, the corporate, the person, I won't say corporations, but the person with the most amount of money doesn't win the most. So let's have those conversations. But no, you're stuck on a purity test out, and yo, let's just continue. So, and this is, I don't think Americans saw the tonal shift that was actually being hit here, because like it, quite literally, it goes from defending capitalism instead of capitalism to defending people who built shit, be it by luck or their hard work, or what is most likely a combination of them both, which he has a vested interest in. Like, I don't see why you don't see this. Like, he has a vested interest in the not rocking a boat because it's his fucking boat. But let's get it. Let's go. Bingo! Oh, fuck. Bingo! Oh, my God. Oh, wow. And, yeah, here's the thing, though. You know, you can't necessarily not take the moral argument with the system of economics because what people feel there is right, they put money into it. But, God damn it. Fuck. About time. We're an hour into this conversation. And an hour and 10 minutes and 45 seconds into this conversation. And this is where it actually should have been at 5 minutes. But let's continue. No. Nope. I will have to stop you right there because here's the thing. Then that's fine. That's fine. Then to say, hey, if they are the sole owner or investment, make it where people have to buy into it to have more say. And yes, that's keeping a money power structure in place, but it's also seeking a more of a equitable amount of how we're going to distribute this. And when they buy into it, they have more power. And I get it. You're trying to get rid of the system of capitalism. That's what you're trying to do, and that system also helps reinforce that system. But until we will never go back to a barter system unless there are no more governments. And even then, people were getting taken advantage of in a barter system. It was evident. Communists didn't start with Marx's theory of communism. No, it didn't. The system has been around in so many different forms. What you're advocating is a barter system. What you're advocating is a utopian system where people get just enough as it is. But the problem that comes with that, if you want to get rid of currency as a standing, then you'll still get people that money is just a stand-in for, let's use an example, rice or pigs or anything that has intrinsic value. But let's continue. Okay, so, yes, fuck yes, okay, take some fucking jabs at the system. Fuck it, take jabs at the system. And he kind of is right, though. The United States has just a very low system if you're born into poverty. And for first world nations, if you're born into poverty, you don't really move much based off of your parents' income. That's actually been determined, and it's actually getting worse. But let's continue. All right, so this is actually pretty fucking like okay. So yes, of course, if you go to a purely democratized state, you run into the tyranny of the majority, quite literally. And this is like, I. This is why a completely non-governmental society will never work. For large sections of population. It won't. It won't because we will get these small little nation states where, yes, in that society, yes, there is more communistic, you know, an environment. But once you get unimaginable in times of just organization purposes of a lot of people, different communities spread over different areas, then you would run into this issue of, I don't want to live here, I want to live there, I want to do this, I want to do that. And without a governing body, be it however weak it would actually be or however strong it would actually be, as a representation of, hey, this is our coalition of how we want to actually group ourselves, then we have this fucking issue. I'm in a mindset that power should be more evenly distributed. I mean, like, we can't keep having this issue where people feel that they're oppressed. See the French Revolution. But it's this whole thing of, because money, that's not what the problem is. It's the mindset that people have to be beneath and above and all this other good shit. That's what this problem is. That's the discussion. Money is a tool. If you want to talk about the distribution of that tool, then that's a different subject. But let's continue. Malcolm X! Okay, so sorry guys. Listen for a while. Get up and walk around in a second. But so here's the thing. People face economic violence every fucking day. If you don't work, you don't eat. That's fucking economic violence. It really is. Like, for people to say that that's not economic violence, nobody's putting a gun in your head to work there. But if they take away the job that I have, then I can't eat. So whether I'm dead from a bullet wound or dead from starvation, that's still economic violence. And no pun intended, missed me with that bullshit. Because once you actually start taking away people's livelihoods, and it's not just, well, I want to have this particular, I want to have this particular fancy new car, and so you need to pay me this, or you need to pay me that. No, that's what not a lot of people are actually chasing after. A lot of people just want to be able to motherfucking survive, and Destiny even says itself: go home, go to work, go home, come home, and chill, relax with friends. That's why the revolution that the anarcho syndicates that they're looking for will never fucking happen, because we think that people are going to give up what they think is subsistence living for something that they never heard of or be scary. And you say, oh, we're going to take away this? You goddamn right. People are going to be fucking afraid. And then you're going to have issues. But let's continue. Okay, cool. But for you to say, like, whoa, let's get rid of, it's like you're telling people to buy into the shit, and you're missing step 2 and 3, and going all the way to step number 20. Fuck, let's just say, hey, let's get money out of fucking politics, so your representative can actually represent you without having to worry about having to suck up to some moneyed interest, teat in order to get reelected, and then maybe they will work for you. Like, come on now, Justice Democrats, anybody? That's fuck. Look at the Justice Democrats, how they are quite literally, are like, fuck corporations. Let's take and vote for the people, and let's actually speak for the people. And say what you will, but they are changing the conversation that you see in the fucking country. But let's continue. All right, that's fucking disingenuous. That goes back to my explanation before, how people have been told that, hey, these type of people are bad because reasons. Quite literally, there was I don't know if you would call it a marketing campaign, where it was like, well, if they get equal rights to you, then you'll be no better than them. And that's something that you saw time and time again, especially during Reconstruction and all this other good bullshit. Like, it is a tactic that people use for racism. Why do you think fucking dirt poor farmers in the South went to go fight for states' rights? States' rights for what? For fucking slavery. It's not because they thought. It's not because they thought, like, inherently the African slaves were actually less than human because reasons. No, they quite literally said, well, if they come for our stuff, they're going to come for yours too. They're going to steal your stuff because they're going to give it to the people that's less than you. You don't want them to give it to people that's less than you. So fight on our side. But let's continue. Okay, so good step, good understanding. And once I finish with this for a while, I'm actually going to go grab me something that I want to actually just consume right now. But that's a good step. That's a good start. And yeah, finish. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to run and grab something right quick. Energy shot, because I'm feeling that energy drop down. Maybe this will pick it back up. But it's actually that's actually a pretty decent way of actually starting shit. And yeah, great. Now, that's what it is. Okay. So, civil disobedience is actually a form of forced coercion. It's just not violence. But it is forced coercion to make a point or make a point. And I would advocate that above anything associating to escalating violence. I would advocate that first. Because as we saw with that discussion with Hassan Piker, it has to be a threat that something may change in the worse for people to actually move. But damn, we got an hour left of this video, or technically, a little bit over 50 minutes, a little bit under 50 minutes. Damn, I did not know what I was signing up for when I started doing this video. But let's continue. It's almost as if you're talking about removing, like, anarcho-capitalists and anarcho-syndicants are saying the same goddamn thing. Let's take away the state. Now, there are a wildly different spectrum of reasons. Oh, don't get me wrong. I recognize the moral arguments of both sides of why one says it over the other. Fuck no. Let's not cede that ground. But it really is the reason why I'm taking away the referee so I can actually control it in specific ways. So those two things are not mutually are like no, fuck no, hell the fuck no. For you to actually say it would be different, you're right. And we also have to remember a benevolent dictator is only a dictatorship only lasts as long as that dictator does. Afterwards, hold your butts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Damn. So, again, it's like quite literally. Okay, so you're not arguing for no fucking government. You're arguing for a weak government. That's what you're arguing for. Oh my God, you're arguing for more of a democratically elected government instead of a republic. If you want to make the argument that the U.S. is a fucking republic, not a democracy, then we are speaking the same fucking language. But if you want to have a direct democracy, then argue that shit. That doesn't have to do with monetary policy. That has more to do with the system of government. Like, and this is what gets me. You're conflating the two. Again, if it's about power. Leave it to power. Don't blame it solely on capitalism. Blame it on the system of power that is facilitated by capitalism and, supremacy, which is a Siamese twin of imperialism. Talk about the fucking power structure. Because in the end, if you get rid of the state or you actually have it where you want to learn the lessons from Marxist Leninists of where the state runs shit versus the people directly run shit, then I would fucking agree with you. But you're not learning that lesson. You're just trying to say, well, no, it's going to be different this time. That's quite literally what you're saying. You're saying that, no, it's going to be different this time when we give the power to the state because we're going to weaken it. If a state doesn't have enough, any state that is strong enough to force someone to act right is going to be strong enough for itself not to act right and have people profit from that. It's a balance that you have to find. You can't just say, no state, and people magically are, and it's going to Destiny's point. It's the balance where you say, no state, and people are just going to magically find the golden mean. No, that's not how that shit works. It will never work that way. It will never work that way. That's why you keep fighting for the shit. You can't just set it and forget it. I know a lot of anarchists want to just say, we're going to set it and forget it. It won't work that way. It won't work that way. But let's continue. And to make this point, that has nothing to do with capitalism. That has to do with power structures. If you want to have that argument about power structures, cool, we can have that debate. It's not about the economic system. The economic system incentivizes it. It's a pillar, one pillar that it stands on. But make no mistake, it's not the supporting beam. It's a pillar. But let's continue. Exactly. Okay, that he is generally correct. When it's a business, look at the Farmer Bro dude, where the reason why he wasn't sent to jail for price fixing, which led to people actually not being able to afford their medication. He went to jail for He went to jail for stock manipulation, and I forget the exact criminal charge, but because he cost people money, not people's lives, because he cost people money. That's why he went to jail, and he even still exercises some of his power because, well, businesses have to make money. Yeah, no, that's that. Yeah, no, like no, that's that. No, like no. I can't let that one slide because no, businesses have in some cases undue protection afforded to them because they're a business. And yes, we actually written it into fucking law that business have a fiduciary responsibility to make money, and so their profit needs to be protected above all else. That's why you see, like, and this is a bad example, but I'm gonna actually use it still enough and say, a person can actually be charged criminal negligence in the death of somebody, but a corporation will never be charged will be never charged criminal negligent in the way a person would, and in the sense of, well, businesses need to make money. But let's continue. Okay, so this is where this conversation actually gets a little bit fuzzy because, yes, actually, and this is the case that happens a lot in Chicago. There is more I live in Chicago, so I have a understanding of it. Well, live in the suburbs of Chicago, but grew up in Chicago. There is a trepidation about calling the police and involving police in neighborhood businesses. There is quite literally a apprehension of calling the police because sometimes the police will come and fucking shoot you because there is no trust in there's no trust in the police. There isn't. People would rather try to solve differences on their own than to actually allow the police interest into a community because they've seen some of the shit that the police officers do. There was a police captain who went to jail because he promoted violent interrogation of suspects, one of which an officer put the barrel of his gun in the mouth of it, like down the throat of a suspect, and said, if you don't admit to this crime, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out. There are people who have died in custody because they didn't admit to a crime because the fucking police said you did this. There is an extrajudicial site in fucking Chicago where the police actually hold people because reasons. Like, god damn, like, I just don't know anymore. It's like, maybe this isn't his lived experience, so he can't identify with it, but shit, man. shit, they motherfucking strong. But it's not a communist government. Quite literally, it's not. There is a structure. It's not a communist government. I've said this multiple times. So, if you actually want to say ground gems, okay, if you want to actually say that, and see, this is like the crux of, I know a lot of people's argument when it comes to. Sorry, I just got a quick flash of a headache, but this is a lot of people's argument when it comes to, well, you can quite literally use this as a tool to say the U.S. would just fund shit to help organize their own self-interest. It's not really a capitalist thing, or it's not really. It's a more of an imperialistic thing, and it's conflating capitalism with imperialism. Those are two separate things. They are. They're brothers, born of supremacy and greed, but they're not the same thing. So let's continue. So here's the rub of the situation. They both agree in the end goal of making sure that we change the capitalist system. One just wants to do it overnight, and relatively speaking to human history, maybe a generation or two. That's overnight when it comes to the breadth and width of the human species, which is more than 6,000 years. I'm sorry, I keep having to say that because people really believe the Earth is 6,000 years. No, we have fucking uranium. Uranium takes 4 billion years to actually turn into lead. We have half lead, half uranium rocks. You know, science and shit, right? Again, what does this have to do about the? This doesn't have anything to do with the economic system, unless you're going to say, well, this economic system is going to force more of a drastic change, which it doesn't. If you want to actually say that, if you want to have that argument, you can have that argument and actually put in examples of how that actually is reflective. But go ahead. Wait, I'm sorry. Stop. I'm sorry. It is not the sword that kills a man. It is the person behind it. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. That's just that. That's where it just. That's where my mind just went. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead. China, India. Yes, they are actually saying, oh shit, we're fucking up. Let's actually invest more in solar in a year than the United States has done ever. And they're a socialist country. Not really. Not really communist, but more socialist because they advocate the state doing certain shit. But you know. Pedetics. Semantics. That's what it is. Magical world, we have that shit now. You just actually concluded that we have that shit now. It's about how people get it. So, it's 3 o'clock, guys. I've been streamed enough. I'm actually going to take a break for a little bit. Probably go take care of some personal shit. I will probably be back later. I'm trying to get to a better stream schedule. Probably about 7. and see, and we can actually pick this up here. Hopefully, I can get to through the last half an hour of this shit. But I want to thank everybody who's watching. Peace.